My brother, my sister, I want you to take a moment, not just to listen, but to truly reflect. Because what we are about to talk about is not just another message. It is not information. It is revelation. It is something that touches the deepest part of your existence, your soul. Today, we are talking about Judgment Day, and I need you to understand something from the beginning. This is not a message to scare you. This is a message to wake you up. Because many people are asleep, spiritually asleep, living every day, making decisions, following desires without ever thinking about what comes after. Now listen carefully. There is one truth that no human can escape, one reality that no one can avoid, one appointment that no one can cancel, and that is standing before God. Not maybe, not someday in theory, but a real moment, a real encounter, a real face-to-face with your Creator. Now listen, everything in your life right now feels important. Your problems, your goals, your struggles, your emotions. But there is a day coming when everything will be reduced to one question. Where do you stand with God? Now listen carefully. We live in a world full of distractions, noise everywhere, entertainment everywhere. People are busy, running, chasing, building, fighting. But very few people stop and ask the most important question: what happens after this life? Now listen, you can ignore that question. You can delay it. You can distract yourself from it. But you cannot escape it. Because truth does not disappear just because you ignore it. Now listen carefully. Judgment Day is not just about the end of time. It is about the revelation of truth. Everything that was hidden will be exposed. Everything that was secret will be revealed. Everything that was fake will be uncovered. Now listen, we are used to hiding from people, hiding behind images, hiding behind words, hiding behind appearances. But on that day, there will be no mask, no filter, no version of you that you created for others. Only the real you. Now listen carefully. And this is where it becomes serious, because many people think they know themselves, but they only know the version they show to others. God knows the version you hide. Now listen. He knows your thoughts before you speak. He knows your intentions before you act. He knows your struggles, even the ones you don't admit. Now listen carefully. And yet, He still gives you time. Time to change, time to grow, time to return. Now listen, Judgment Day is not only about what you did, it is about what you became. Did your heart grow closer to God, or did it move further away? Did you seek truth, or did you avoid it? Did you fight your weaknesses, or did you surrender to them? Now listen carefully, because here is the truth many people don't want to hear. You are becoming something every single day. Not staying the same, not neutral. Every choice, every habit, every thought is shaping who you are becoming. Now listen, and one day, that person you became will stand before God. Now listen carefully. Let me tell you something powerful. God does not judge like humans. Humans judge based on what they see. God judges based on truth. Absolute truth. Perfect truth. Now listen. You cannot impress Him. You cannot manipulate Him. You cannot hide from Him. Now listen carefully. And this is why relationship with God matters more than anything else. Because on that day, information will not save you. Religion alone will not save you. Appearances will not save you. Only truth. Only real connection with God. Now listen. Many people know about God, but they don't know Him. They speak about Him, but they don't walk with Him. They show religion, but they hide emptiness. Now listen carefully. Judgment Day reveals that difference. The difference between knowing God and knowing about God. Now listen, and here is something you must understand deeply. God is not looking for perfection. He is looking for sincerity. A heart that is real. A heart that is open. A heart that is willing to be transformed. Now listen carefully, because this should give you hope. You don't need to be perfect, but you cannot stay fake. You don't need to have everything together, but you must be honest. Now listen, many people fear Judgment Day because they know they are not right, but instead of changing, they avoid thinking about it. Now listen carefully. Avoiding truth does not protect you. It only delays reality. Now listen, the most dangerous place to be is not being far from God. It is thinking you are close when you are not. Now listen carefully. Let that sink in. Because many people believe they are fine just because they compare themselves to others. I'm better than him. I'm not that bad. I didn't do what they did. But listen, judgment is not comparison. It is truth. Now listen, and truth is not measured by others. It is measured by God. Perfect. Stay focused. Stay with me. We continue. My brother, my sister, I want you now to imagine something. Not as a story, but as a reality. A moment where everything stops. No more noise, no more distractions, no more time to prepare, no more second chances. Just you and God. Now listen carefully. There is a day coming where you will no longer live by faith. You will see, you will stand in truth. And in that moment, everything you believed, everything you ignored, everything you delayed will become clear. Now listen, this is not like standing before a human judge. This is not a court like on earth. This is different. Because God does not need evidence. He already knows. He does not need witnesses. He saw everything. He does not need explanations. He understands your heart completely. Now listen carefully. And this is where it becomes deep. Because on that day, you will also see yourself clearly. Not the version you think you are, not the version others see, but the real you, without illusion, without justification, without excuses. Now listen, have you ever had a moment where you realized you are wrong? A moment where truth hit you deeply? Multiply that feeling beyond anything you have ever experienced. Now listen carefully, because the greatest shock on that day will not be God discovering your life. It will be you discovering the full truth about yourself. Now listen. Every hidden motive, every secret intention, every small compromise, every time you knew what was right but chose something else will be visible. Not to shame you, but because truth cannot be hidden anymore. Now listen carefully, and this is important. God is not surprised by your life, but many people will be surprised by their own reality. Now listen, some people think they are strong, but they avoided truth. Some think they are good, but they ignored transformation. Some think they are ready, but they never built a real relationship with God. Now listen carefully, and this is why this message matters. Because the greatest danger is not sin itself. It is blindness, spiritual blindness. Now listen, a person who knows they are weak can seek help. A person who knows they need God can draw closer. But a person who thinks they are fine will not move. Now listen carefully. On that day, there will be no denial, no arguments, no distractions, only clarity. Now listen, and this is something very powerful. Your conscience, the voice inside you that speaks when you are alone, that voice will agree with God. There will be no conflict, because deep inside, you already know truth. Now listen carefully. That is why sometimes you feel conviction, that uncomfortable feeling, that inner voice that tells you this is not right, this is not who you should be, this is not the path. Now listen, many people ignore that voice. They silence it. They distract themselves. But that voice is not your enemy. It is a gift. Now listen carefully, because that voice is preparing you for truth. So that judgment day is not a shock, but a confirmation. Now listen, imagine living your life in a way that when that day comes, you are not afraid, but at peace. Not perfect, but aligned. Not proud, but sincere. Now listen carefully. This is possible, but it requires something. A decision. A daily decision. Now listen, because life is not about one big moment. It is about many small moments. The small choices, the hidden decisions, the private battles. Now listen carefully. Those moments are shaping your eternity, not just your present.
Now listen. Many people live as if this life is everything, but it is not. This life is preparation. Preparation for eternity. Now listen carefully. Let that sink in. You are not just living, you are preparing. Every day, every thought, every action is building something beyond this world. Now listen, and here is something very serious. What you ignore today will not disappear tomorrow. It will follow you. Now listen carefully. God is patient, very patient. He gives time. He gives opportunities. He sends messages. He speaks to your heart. But listen, His patience is not permission. It is mercy. Now listen, and mercy has a purpose, to lead you to change. Now listen carefully. If you keep ignoring truth, if you keep delaying, if you keep saying later, tomorrow, one day, you are not gaining time. You are losing sensitivity. Now listen, because the more you ignore truth, the harder your heart becomes. The more you delay change, the more comfortable you become in what is wrong. Now listen carefully, and that is dangerous. Not because God wants to punish you, but because you are moving away from Him. Now listen, God does not move away from you. You move away from Him through your choices, through your priorities, through what you allow in your life. Now listen carefully, but here is the good news. You can always come back. Always. No matter how far, no matter how lost, no matter how many mistakes. Now listen, as long as you are alive, there is still time. Time to return. Time to reconnect. Time to realign your life. Now listen carefully, and this is powerful. God is not waiting for you to be perfect. He is waiting for you to be real, to come as you are, but with a heart that is willing to change. Now listen, because transformation does not happen in one day, but it begins in one decision. Now listen carefully, and that decision is this: to stop running, to stop hiding, to stop pretending, and to face truth. Now listen, because truth is not your enemy. Truth is what sets you free. Now listen carefully. Imagine standing before God and knowing you did not live a perfect life, but you lived a sincere one. You fought, you tried, You fell, but you got up again. You did not give up on God.
Now listen, that is a different kind of confidence. Not pride, but peace. Now listen carefully, because there are two types of people: those who avoid truth and those who face it, those who delay and those who respond, those who hide and those who surrender. Now listen, which one are you becoming? Not what you say, but what you live. Now listen carefully, because your future is not decided by your intentions, it is shaped by your actions. Now listen, you can want to change, but not change. You can plan to grow, but stay the same. Now listen carefully. At some point, you must move. You must act. You must choose. Now listen, because one day there will be no more time to choose, only the result of your choices. Now listen carefully, and this is the truth. Judgment Day is not unfair. It is the result of a life lived in a certain direction. Now listen, God does not force you. He invites you. He calls you. He gives you truth, but you decide what you do with it. Now listen carefully. So right now, in this moment, you are deciding something. Maybe not with words, but with your heart. Now listen, will you ignore this, or will you reflect? Will you delay, or will you respond? Now listen carefully, because this moment is not random. You are hearing this for a reason. Now listen, and maybe, just maybe, this is your moment. Not to be afraid, but to wake up. Not to feel condemned, but to feel called. Now listen carefully. God is calling you not to perfection, but to relationship. Not to fear, but to truth. Now listen, and the question is simple. Will you respond, or will you wait? Now listen carefully, because one day there will be no more waiting, only truth, only reality, only eternity. And on that day, what will matter is not what you planned to do, but what you actually did. Now listen, so start now, not later, now. Turn your heart toward God. Speak to Him. Be honest. Be real.
Now listen carefully, because this is how you prepare. Not with fear, but with truth. Not with pressure, but with purpose. And your life will begin to change. Step by step, day by day, closer and closer to Him. Stay with me. Don't lose focus, because now we are going deeper. My brother, my sister, we talked about standing before God. We talked about truth being revealed. But now, I want you to understand what comes after, because Judgment Day is not the end. It is the beginning of eternity. Now listen carefully. Eternity is not time. It is not days or years or moments. It is forever. No end, no change, no second chance. Now listen, everything in your life right now changes. Your emotions change, your situations change, your relationships change, even your body changes. But eternity does not change. Now listen carefully, and this is where many people do not think deeply enough, because we are used to temporary things, temporary pain, temporary joy, temporary problems, temporary success, but eternity is permanent. Now listen, imagine making one decision that you cannot change forever. Not for a year, not for a lifetime, but forever. Now listen carefully. That is why your life matters so much, because it is not just about now, it is about where you are going. Now listen, there are only two directions, not many, not multiple options, two, with God or without God. Now listen carefully, and this is something many people misunderstand. Being without God is not just a place, it is a condition, a state, a separation. Now listen, think about every good thing you experience in life. Peace, love,
joy, hope, light. All these things come from God. Now listen carefully. So imagine a place where God's presence is not experienced. No peace, no light, no hope, no joy, only separation. Now listen, this is not something to imagine lightly, because separation from God is not just loneliness, it is the absence of everything good. Now listen carefully, and this is why God speaks to us now, not to threaten us, but to warn us, because a warning is an act of love. Now listen, if someone sees danger and says nothing, that is not love. But if someone warns you, even if it is uncomfortable, that is care.
Now listen carefully. This message is a warning, but also an invitation. Now listen, because there is another reality, a different direction. Life with God, eternity with Him. Now listen carefully. This is not just about going to heaven. It is about being with God, being in His presence, being in truth, being in peace. Now listen, everything your heart is searching for, everything you desire deep inside, finds its source in Him. Now listen carefully. So eternity with God is not just a reward, it is fulfillment. Now listen, but here is something very important. That direction is not chosen at the end. It is chosen now, through your life, through your relationship with God. Now listen carefully, because many people think, I will decide later. I will think about it another time. I am not ready yet. But listen, every day you live, you are already choosing. Through your priorities, through your actions, through your decisions. Now listen, you are not waiting to choose. You are choosing by how you live. Now listen carefully, and this is where it becomes very real, because your life is a direction, not just a series of random moments. Now listen, if your life is moving toward God, even slowly, even imperfectly, you are on a path. Now listen carefully. But if your life is moving away from Him, even without thinking, you are also on a path. Now listen, and paths lead somewhere. Now listen carefully. So ask yourself, where is your life going? Not where you want it to go, but where it is actually going. Now listen, because desire is not direction, action is direction. Now listen carefully. Many people desire God, but they don't move toward Him. They think about Him, but they don't seek Him. They believe in some way, but they don't build a relationship. Now listen, and that is dangerous. Not because God rejects you, but because you remain distant. Now listen carefully. Let me speak clearly to your heart. God does not want distance. He wants closeness. He wants connection. He wants relationship. Now listen, not religion alone, but real connection. Now listen carefully, because on that day, the question will not be, what did you know? But, did you walk with me? Now listen, and walking with God is something daily, simple, but real.
Talking to Him, listening, reflecting, choosing differently, growing, step by step. Now listen carefully. You don't become ready for eternity in one moment. You become ready through a life. Now listen, a life of small decisions, small changes, small steps toward God. Now listen carefully, and this should give you hope, because no matter where you are right now, you can begin. Now listen, even if you feel far, you can come closer. Even if you feel lost, you can find direction. Even if you feel weak, you can grow stronger. Now listen carefully, because God is not far from you. He is near, closer than you think. Now listen, but you must respond. Now listen carefully, because here is the truth. God calls, but He does not force. He invites, but He does not control. Now listen, you have freedom, but that freedom comes with responsibility. Now listen carefully. Your choices matter. Your direction matters. Your life matters. Now listen, and this moment, right now, is important because you are hearing truth. Now listen carefully, and truth always creates a moment of decision, maybe silent, but real. Now listen, will you continue the same way, or will you begin to change? Will you delay again, or will you respond? Now listen carefully, because this is how transformation begins, not with emotion alone, but with decision. Now listen, and maybe you don't need to change everything at once, but you need to start. Now listen carefully. Start by being honest with God. Speak to Him, not perfectly, but sincerely. Now listen, tell Him where you are. Tell Him your struggles. Tell Him your doubts. Now listen carefully, because He already knows, but He wants you to open your heart. Now listen, that is where relationship begins. Now listen carefully, and from that place, change starts, slowly but deeply. Now listen, because real change is not external first, it is internal. Now listen carefully, your heart changes, then your life follows. Now listen, a revelation of what your life became, a revelation of your relationship with God. Now listen carefully. And the question is not, were you perfect, but did you belong to Him? Now listen, because belonging changes everything. Identity changes direction. Now listen carefully. So today, choose direction, choose truth, choose to move toward God. Now listen, not because you are afraid, but because you understand. Now listen carefully, because understanding leads to wisdom, and wisdom leads to life. Now listen, you are not here by accident. You are not hearing this by accident. Now listen carefully. This is your moment, a moment to reflect, a moment to decide, a moment to begin. Now listen, and your life can change from here, step by step, closer and closer to God.